let's move on to the next signing. The James Robinson signing was a little bit shocking, and I believe that this likely means that Damien Harris is gone. So I wrote about this for Musket Fire, and I'm going to make sure to leave the links down in the description if you guys want to check those out. If you follow me on Twitter, I post my articles every single day, so you'll be sure to click on those if you want to see what I have to say about this. So the thing that I thought was most surprising about Damien Harris so far is that there was so much emphasis on Jacoby Myers and his status with the team. And so with his status on the team, and people really were wanting to see him back, and no one has been saying anything about Damien Harris. And I thought that was a little weird, because I was like, do you guys forget that Damien Harris is free agent? Not that necessarily, I'm sitting here saying like, oh, I really want to see him back. I just felt like he was kind of a favorite, and I was a little bit surprised that they hadn't been talking about him. Even with James Robinson signing, no one was really saying anything about Damien Harris except for me, so I was kind of surprised about that. But let me get back to what I was saying. So Patriots signed James Robinson to a 2-year deal worth up to $8 million. So he definitely adds depth to the running back room, but especially as the dual threat, the pass catching back that Stevenson has become and desperately needed help with last year, because they were feeding him the ball in the passing game, which was great. And he broke out, had an amazing season in just his second year. But Harris that's not him. Harris is definitely the typical running back. That's what he does. He's not what the Patriots usually want, I guess, in a running back. They definitely like that versatility. And then Damien getting hurt last year didn't help Stevenson either, because then he had to carry the load, and it became kind of ridiculous how much they were playing him. Understandably why, but he did a lot last year. So Robinson definitely is going to be an asset for not just the offense, but for Stevenson. And we're hoping that he gets back to his Jacksonville performance, because when he was, prime Jag, he had a great season. Seasons. Sorry, I am so all over the place because of my cat right now. So, anyway. So he's only 24 years old. He was signed and drafted in 2020 with Jacksonville. He played in 35 games, 485 carries for 2,177 yards, 18 touchdowns, plus 89 receptions, 612 yards, and 4 touchdowns in that time. He was just on the Jets last year, which we know he didn't see a whole lot because, they just drafted Breece Hall, who until he was hurt was the guy. And then I forget who else they were using, but they definitely were not using Robinson a lot last year. So I think that this is a good signing. I know it's not, the flashiest of signings, but I don't really think that there are some big names that are available, running backs like Ezekiel Elliott now, Kareem Hunt. I don't remember who else, but I don't really feel like there's any that I'm upset that they signed James Robinson over. You know what I mean? I think it's just interesting that we're not really talking about Damien Harris. So, but I did want to mention this because I was talking about comparing James Robinson to Damien Harris. So Damien was, of course, with the Patriots for 4 years, but he struggled to remain healthy, as we know. He only came close to playing an entire season in 2021 when he played 15 of the 16 games. So throughout his entire 4 years in New England, he had 449 carries for 2,094 yards and 20 touchdowns in 38 games. But he only had 40 receptions for 281 yards, no touchdowns, and most of those came over the last 2 seasons, of course, trying to deal with the loss of James White. So James Robinson is going to be a huge asset. I think people need to kind of be excited about this. So the current running back room is Stevenson, Robinson, Pierre Strong Jr., Kevin Harris, and J.J. Taylor. Definitely a good variety of running backs in there. I think Stevenson and Robinson will definitely be the 1 and 2. I think Pierre Strong is going to come out and be probably the number 3. Kevin Harris still has a little bit left to prove. We'll definitely have to see how he does throughout like mini camp, training camp, OTAs, all of that. JJ Taylor is just always on the Patriots. I don't know what they're doing with him. People really want the Patriots to draft Deuce Vaughn, who is very similar in stature to JJ Taylor. But they do have quite a stacked running back room as it is right now. So I think we're looking good for there right now.